Alright, so before I go into the next transition video um, or step, I just want to talk about this script called Tween Machine, right? Which I find very helpful, right? And is used by a lot of animators in building breakdowns, right? So I'm just going to show you how it works. This is where you could get from, right? If you Google Tween Machine, um, right now it's in a development stage, so I'll put the link here where you can in the description, right? Where you can download the source code zip file from. Alright, so once you download it, put it in your scripts folder, extract it, alright, and then we can open it in the script editor. So I'm just going to open it. Alright, so I downloaded it here. There's a Python and a Mel. I'm just going to open the Python. Alright, and then I'll just save it to my Magna shell for now. So file, save script to shelf, call this tween. Right, so when I launch the window, right, this is what it looks like. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna create, a quick simple animation here. Let me just turn on step preview. Alright, so I'm just seeing my keys. So I'm just gonna see if I could make a simple bouncing ball loop here. Maybe 16 frames. So I'm starting on frame 0. And on frame 16, and the in between would be 8. Right, so this is the up here. Alright, so just let the animation loop timeline from 0 to 15. So should have. Alright, so that's just our ball up and down 2 poses, right? So we're gonna add some breakdowns in here. So directly in between, right? This is how it works, right? So for the selected, I'm selecting this control. If I just type in 0 here, it's gonna give me a straight in between keyframe, right? Between this down pose and this up pose, right? It's directly in between. So that would be like, if we were doing linear keys, right? But that's not what we want, right? We want to create a slow in, right? Between this position and this position. So this position should be closer to this position here. Alright, so notice if I type in 100 here, which is the most I could, right, this frame 4 here now becomes identical to the frame ahead of it. Alright, and if I go the other way, negative 100, this frame 4 becomes the same as the frame behind it. Right, and 0 is in the middle. So let's try doing 50, right, which should take us a little closer, right, to this position. So really favoring this position more, and a little further from this one. Right, so let's see, for frame 12 now, right, I'm gonna want it to favor frame 8. So in this case I'll do minus 50. Alright, so let's play that and see. Alright, so you see we're starting a building. I'll slow in there, right? And I can even continue here, right? Making this one favor this position between here and here. Right, so I can just do this one as 50, and then this one minus 50. And from here to here, for this one from here to here, I could maybe keep this more linear, right? I don't want it to start slowing in too much at this point, but maybe instead of just 0, maybe just a little more, maybe give it a little more 10 to favor this one, right? And then this one is going to favor this one here, right? So go with minus 10 for that one. So now we have it broken down to 2's. Let's see. Alright, so we see just how easily, right, we built in some nice space in here, right, without Millmouse dragon frames, right? And you know, Millmouse dragon frames, remember, that just copies, you know, the whole frame, but you know, sometimes you want to get a percentage in between, and this script really helps a lot with that, right? So I just wanted to demonstrate that before we take a look at the next phase of this transition. So let me just actually open that one up now. Alright, so that's part 3. Alright, so I'm just going to play this now and you'll see, alright, how I've gone in and continued to add breakdowns. Alright, so just as I was saying in the video before, actually notice I've actually changed this pose a little bit to what I think is a stronger pose, reading more of anger. Alright, with the fists balled up on top of the head. So remember in the last video, right, yeah, I would have just had this pose and this pose, so I've broken down. Wait, did I have the down pose? No, I think in the last video I just had, yes, I did have the down pose, the up pose, and I did have this pose, and then into the point. Right, so let's see all the breakdowns I put in. So between this one and the down pose, I did a little breakdown. Right, so he's slowing out, but at the same time these arms are starting to pull apart before he comes down. And then between the down pose and this up pose, right, I have a breakdown here, right, where he's kind of leading with his upper body and that arm is dragging behind, right, before it comes up there. And I have a bit of a reversal going on here, right, with the C shape in the spine here, and then it comes up and then it's reverse C, right? And notice I'm staying on balance here with this particular breakdown. Notice not all my breakdowns would be completely balanced, but most of them coming through here are balanced, right? Till we reach here, right? So I actually did quite a bit of breaking down here, right, for that overshoot and settle. So yeah, so we had, I believe, yeah, we already had that contact frame. Right, so between that contact frame and that final settle, right, I did add a overshoot pose first, which I believe was this one here, right? So this is the extreme overshoot. And then it comes and slows back in there. Alright, and notice I delaying that arm, right? So notice when it comes through, the chest hits, right? The chest hits, this forearm is still dragging behind, right? Then the chest slows in, the forearm snaps into place and stretches. Then he starts coming back, and the forearm is coming back and easing back into place. Right, and then settles into the final position. And if you look at this, his right arm here, right, it's dragging behind, balling up, the fist coming through there, overlapping there, right? So after the chest hits, then this arm follows through, forearm follows through. But notice as that forearm is going through, right, this upper arm is coming back up towards its final position. Then the forearm comes back up and settles back in. Right, so we have a lot of lead and follow here, right? Foot leads, then chest after, then arm, right? Then the other arm. And we have a little bit on the head as well, right? If you notice, I have a slight rotation coming down. After the chest hits, the head comes down, down again, and then back up. Right, so all these things are helping to break up the add fluidity, right, to the animation. I'm also keeping things in mind like arcs, right? So even from now, right, if you look at this hand here, that left hand, it's coming through, and I'm thinking about, how that arm is, arcing back and then coming through, right? So when things follow arcs in animation, it's a lot more pleasing to the eye, and it looks, a lot more fluid as well. Right? So these are kind of things that, you don't get with motion capture, right? And you can really design them, and, it makes the animation a lot more appealing, even though a character might not be able to, move like this with this kind of flexibility, and the spine might not, drag and follow through, at that same speed or that same amount, right? It still feels right, and it's nice to watch, right? So keyframe animation definitely isn't going anywhere for a while, right? Because you can't get this kind of thing with motion capture. Right, so I'm feeling like, I'm pretty happy with the timing here. Pretty happy with how these breakdowns are working. So at this stage here, right, I can start maybe even jumping into spline, right, and working this animation down to ones, and really really adding, working the slow ins and slow outs some more. Yeah.